I think a lot of people have quite fixed preconceptions and ideas about what a camera is and what it can do. We're kind of turning that on its head in some respects. Hello, I'm Brendan Barry. I'm a photographer, camera maker and educator. Today I arrived at the wonderful Electric Barge on a canal in London. Together with students from the Positive View Foundation, we transformed it into a giant camera. So we started by turning the barge into a light-tight box, using cardboard and gaffer tape to do so. One thing that's really important to this way of working is having the people involved actually be a part of the construction of the camera. Once the space was light-tight, we then cut a hole in part of the cardboard to place the lens, which then allowed us to project the view from outside into the space. Next, we simply placed the person outside of the barge and had the image of that person project into the camera onto a board that we could move around in the space and experiment with. Something that was really exciting about this day was actually watching the camera obscura, the projected image, whilst the barge was moving along the canal. Usually with a camera obscura, it's a fixed space. It's in a room or a building that is looking over a specific view and that's not going anywhere. But on this day, as the boat is moving along the canal and the kind of world is changing in front of us, we can kind of watch that world projected into the camera, and there's this strange, beautiful, kind of uncanny feeling of watching the world upside down, back to front, moving in what feels like kind of quite a strange and disconnected way, but is also really magical. So as we were moving along, we were able to kind of look for areas and scenes where we might want to kind of stop, and the participants got out to make these kind of playful and experimental scenes that we could then capture. A really interesting but challenging aspect about working on the barge is the movement that's happening. Even when you're docked up, the water level is rising and falling, other boats are going past, and the wake from those boats are moving us. The nature of the process means we're dealing with very long exposures, so ultimately we had to learn to embrace that movement. What's really useful about having the darkroom set up inside the camera is it means that we can take an image that we've just exposed onto paper and develop it straight away. So we can see within seconds whether that image is successful, whether it's under or overexposed, whether the kind of movement that we've been trying to embrace is kind of working for us, or we want to kind of push that further. So it makes the whole kind of process a lot more immediate, but allows lots more kind of experimentation and back and forth, and kind of keeps the image making and the image processing and development part of the same thing, and keeping them in the same time in the same space creates a really interesting but quite different process and approach and way of working. Seeing those pictures together at the end of the day, when we hang them all up in the space, they become more than the sum of their parts, and they tell a really wonderful narrative about what happened on that day and all of the different voices that came together.
So the impact of photography's had in my life is having, I guess, like a medium to express myself. Also, just like a way for me to curate, snippets of my own life.
So I think over time it's just progressed. So now I'm trying to go to more things where I'd be more photograph things and just see how they look and try different angles.
For me, it's been a bit of a guidance tool. For a long time, I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
It helps me explain myself. So yeah, when I show my photos, it's how I'm feeling. So it just portrays my emotions.
This day inside a giant floating camera really highlights how photography can empower young people to shift their focus and their understanding, their thoughts and their ideas about what a camera is and what it can do. And it's really rewarding to see how all of these things come together and what is created at the end of it.